The Madow brothers were born and brought up in Baltimore, Maryland, a blue-collar shipping town located on the east coast of the United States of America. Their parents, Selvin and Lois Madow, were neither dentists nor musicians. Selvin was a manufacturer of children's shoes who achieved some success until an unfortunate incident with a misplaced nail left a young child with a fallen arch. Lois, a mother and housekeeper, tried her hand at many professions including Avon lady, wig salesman, book expert, linen and towel sales, consignment clothing, real estate mogul, party photography, mahjong maven, and electricity broker. With the exception of income generation, she did very well at all of these endeavors. Individually, the Madow brothers were just 4 kids from Baltimore, but together they became the most successful dental entertainers the world has ever seen. So how did their success begin? After polishing their craft at dental school skit nights, study clubs, and small local conferences in basements of Holiday Inns, they developed a style which brought them fame as the top-drawing musical act in dentistry, admittedly not a very crowded field. It was in 1989 that they began their ascent, and after establishing their own newsletter, seminars, and collection forms, a new term broke out in toothy circles all across North America: Madowmania.
What was it like in those days when you couldn't go anywhere without being totally mobbed?
It was insane. It was crazy. I mean, girls everywhere just running after you. We're not used to things like that, but we got used to it pretty fast.
Did you ever fear for your safety?
We were usually okay. I do remember one time a crazed hygienist was running after Marshall with a slow-speed handpiece. She was screaming, "I'm going to give you a polishing," or something like that. It was nuts, but it was fun. I mean, it was just, there was nothing like it.
Was it odd that people were so excited about a group of dentists?
Well, we never really thought about it being odd. Why would that be odd? I mean, dentists are usually pretty exciting. At least they think they are. So, no, we never really even thought about that at all.
Okay, gentlemen, thanks for your time.
Do you have any questions for me?
No, that's it.
In October 1993, they began what is now known as TBSE at a small hotel in Baltimore. It sold out in 30 minutes, prompting riots and police action in the streets. That was followed a short time later by the first mega hit called "I Did That Crown."
I did that crown, but it came off again. It's never gonna...
The controversy which ensued was a bit distracting, but the Madow brothers continued on.
What was it like to make that video?
Oh, it was fun, but I mean, we feel it was groundbreaking. Who else was doing dental videos at that time? I mean, maybe Gordon Christensen was doing some about how to do composites and stuff, but this was the real first true dental music video. Now it seems pretty ordinary.
You were the first group ever to be played on DTV?
Well, it's not true. It's not true. That is true, actually.
Sure. I mean, that was also back in the days when they only played dental videos.
Now they do like these reality shows. And you know,
hardly any videos at all anymore.
Right.
Exactly.
Is the song "I Did That Crown" based on a true story?
Well,
you see,
interesting question.
Loosely on a true story. Then we kind of embellished and went crazy, and then I don't know, you know.
But you know, it's become true after all these years. I think it's just now accepted as general fact, as are many of the things we do.
By the time the video broke and their tour of the United States was complete, Dave, the forward-thinking macho man, Rich, the light-hearted, jovial artist, Marshall, the quiet, thoughtful one who the girls loved, and Matt were well known to anyone who had ever picked up an issue of most any dental journal. Strangely, the publication refused to place the Madow brothers on the cover of Dental Economics. It was their public plea in the form of a song which brought the group to the next level of fame. Not only did the song finally land them the coveted cover, it was famously parodied as "Cover of the Rolling Stone" by the Detroit-based group Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. As the dental world was soon to discover, the brothers' personalities were much more complicated, but for now it was on with the show. By now, the mere sight of the brothers reduced teenage girls to hysteria. More than ever, these youngsters were reporting they wanted to work in the dental field. Even dentists, previously a fairly glum group of people with sour outlooks and miserable attitudes, were getting excited and catching on to Madow mania. Soon, the Madows would go back to the studio to record their new full-length album called Rubber Bass. Its use of psychedelic instruments, unusual arrangements, and the sound of an actual dental drill on the song I Want to Hold Your Hand piece made it clear that the Madow brothers were exploring territory which had not yet been discovered.
How did you come up with the title Rubber Bass?
That's kind of
Do you remember?
It's a really good question.
Rubber bass?
It's rubber bass.
That's what I thought.
I thought it was Rub Her Bass, because that bass player.
Why did you decide to use the sound of an actual dental drill on the album?
Interesting.
Yeah, I think Dave and I were in the studio, and we were waiting for Marshall. He was in treatment room 3 finishing up a crown prep, and we just heard that. Remember that?
It was in a perfect key.
It was
and
unbelievable.
We said,
We're going to keep it in
said,
there.
Marshall, just keep doing that. Keep doing that.
Keep drilling.
We kind of wrote the song to that.
That's what she said.
Yeah, perfect.
With this album, were you moving away from your roots?
Most certainly. We wanted to get as far away from our roots as possible.
One of the roots was quite long,
Yeah.
if I remember correctly. Very difficult.
Impacted, I think.
Is it true that you were just an American version of the Beatles?
It's not true.
It's not true.
Although they appeared jolly and humble at the interview, the album title Rubber Bass was actually discovered to be a covert reference to something dangerous that was slowly taking shape within the band. But for now, they continue to grow in popularity with dentists, hygienists, dental assistants, business team members, and even laboratory technicians. More albums and videos followed, including perhaps their most famous, Bohemian Dental Rhapsody.
I need to get out as soon as I can.
Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?
It wasn't long before Hollywood was calling, and the famous dentists were doing movies, TV, and even commercials.
Thanks to the Dental Comfort Station, I never lose even a minute of production.
And sometimes it even sells the case for you.
Yuck! What's that awful smell? That's tooth decay, and it looks like you need a root canal.
You better schedule that right away, doctor.
But as their fame rose, there was trouble on the horizon. It started with an offhanded comment that caught the ire of dental fans everywhere, when the Madows declared they were bigger than the great Dr. Howard Farran.
Hey, Pete.
Yeah.
You hear now the Madow brothers are saying they're bigger than Howard Farran?
There's no way they're as big as Howard Farran.
Fans all across the southwest United States had bonfires and rallies where copies of Madow items were burned and destroyed. A command in a dental journal to flush all Madow materials down the toilet actually caused a rush on the services of plumbers all over North America. The Madow brothers denied that they meant any harm, but in the end, this controversial comment caused irreparable damage to their reputation.
What did you mean by the comment, the Madow brothers are bigger than Howard Farran?
Well, you see,
we actually we didn't mean
more
bigger.
popular.
Yeah, we meant we were taller than
Yes,
Howard
yeah.
Farran.
Taller.
Right.
And hairier as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you guys friends with Dr. Farran, and what do you think of him?
Oh, wait.
He's a good guy.
guy.
Really good
Good
guy.
guy.
Very well respected.
Do you think in some ways Howard Farran was jealous and actually trying to emulate you?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
And the press just took off with it too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was blown out of
Yeah.
proportion. Ridiculous.
At this point, the Madow mania hysteria had taken a dark turn, and the brothers went into seclusion. It was then that perhaps their greatest achievement was recorded, a sprawling album which was considered to be a creative peak in dentistry. Dr. Pepper's only Tooth Club band. But little did the public know that this creativity was being fueled by something other than a love for dentistry. That's right, the Madow brothers were using drugs. It wasn't long before their popularity and Madow mania began to wane. Speaking engagements at major dental meetings turned into hour-long study club presentations at the Waffle House. The fortunes of what was once dentistry's favorite band turned for the worse, and they were left to their own devices to try to make ends meet.
What time does the Chinese guy go to the dentist? Anybody know? It's tooth hurty. The thing on?
Finally, in desperation, the Madow brothers called a press conference. Even though no one attended, they made their next move perfectly clear. A reunion show at the one and only TBSE at the spectacular Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada.